Hello. I've gotten a lot of questions on a couple of videos that I made on the FRTs working on these three platforms. And I guess I'm going to go over some of the bigger questions that I've got on them and the problems that I'm assuming people have been having with getting the FRTs three positions to work on these guys. So the first one that we're going to get into, the quickest one, is the honey badger. Now the honey badger, I had tried to make an FRT work before with the honey badger and the ghetto blaster, and the problem, I believe, was the recoil system here in the what was the first generation honey badger. It had a lot of bolt bounce. Okay, so what I did was I bought the 223 upper, and that came with the new bolt carrier group for the 223-556. Now everybody gonna say, oh, it's the two-piece, it's the two-piece. It's not the two-piece. It's the system around this specific two-piece bolt carrier group. Okay, because there's like 3 generations of bolt carrier group. You need the one that comes with the 556 223 upper. So basically, it's gonna cost you like $1,600, over $1,600 to make an FRT work in the honey badger, and it works on 300 blackout and 223-556. The key is the bolt carrier group, the spring for that bolt carrier group, and the retrofit kit that comes for the buffer tube for that all to move in there. Okay, it won't work, and if you're familiar with this platform, it won't work with the version that has the spring guide rod in the middle here in the buffer tube, and the spring goes into a cup, or of I guess a spring mini buffer tube, another spring guide in the second piece buffer tube. This is totally different. I actually go over it in another video that I made specifically on this upper. So for this, unfortunately, you're gonna have to spend more money. So for this guy, to make it work in a Spear 308, you need a trip bar. A lot of people are making them. Even I'm making them now. This is just I got tired of picking different part numbers, so I just made a universal one. So you get one of those from anybody that you want. And then obviously you're gonna have to do stuff to get that hammer safety out, because the way that this works, that trigger is really skinny, so when it hits that hammer safety, it kind of flicks it out of the way, but because there's a spring in there pushing it back down consistently, it comes back down quicker than what you flick it out of the way. So by the time the hammer gets to touch the firing pin is already locked out again. So I did not take out the spring, the firing pin spring. I left that in there and it works just fine. It's just the hammer safety parts. Take it off. It's been very safe for me. I've put about 1,500 rounds of 308 through this, and everything's been great, to be honest. Is it? I don't know. It's fun. It's expensive fun. The wear pattern has been pretty okay, honestly. Nothing super disappointing. The only real issue that I've had is the D50 for 308, the 50 round magazine mag pulls. They do over insert, so feed gently. For me, that's what happens. I don't know about you guys, but for me, they over insert and it's kind of like weird to get out. So it's been running great. And yeah, it's like 2 pins. 1 pin here, you can remove it. I cut down a hex key so I could punch that out because I didn't have a punch that thin. Okay, and yeah, this hole right here. So there's a dowel pin that goes through there that hinges on the safety, and then this roll pin keeps that dowel pin from coming out. So roll pin, pull the dowel out, and you're done. And there's a spring, a little accidentally put that spring in there, but it's this little tiny spring there, and that's it. It runs great. Hello, HK416 A4. How did I make it work? This is basically the same process. I could basically get like a 3-round burst to happen without removing this. And I had a friend say that you could probably avoid doing all of this with a mil-spec firing pin. He did that on his A1. But on this A4, I don't think it fit. I tried and it didn't really fit, so maybe they thought ahead on that. Now, I didn't remove, again, the firing pin spring or anything else other than the hammer safety. And this one was a little more complicated. Problem being is that there is a roll pin, and that's easy to remove, but there is a dowel pin that's staked on. So the staked dowel pin is a little bit more difficult, and you need to be patient to remove this. Okay, see, you have to basically remove the stake with a drill, okay, or a Dremel, whatever you feel more comfortable with. There's also a spring, and yeah, this hammer safety will come out. I took off the stake a little bit, and then I just kind of forced it through with a punch, and nothing really damage-wise happened to where that goes. And because the hammer is so skinny, the same thing happens where it flicks this out of the way, but eventually it'll turn into basically a hammer follow hitting the firing pin. And then the other modification that you would need to do, so this is the little trip dingus on your 3-position FRT. This is not going to work with this bolt carrier group because this is cut different. So I made a part to replace that. I have about 2,500 rounds through this right now, and with the lubrication that I'm using and everything, it's working really well. It's holding up very nice. The damage, you know, obviously everything wears with friction and impact, but, you know, polymer, steel to steel, polymer to steel, you know what I mean? The parts that need to be reinforced are reinforced. And if this fails, you will have semi. So if it fails, your gun will just go back to semi. Like only semi, everything, instead of FRT and semi. So I don't know if I should make steel ones of this, because I don't know like what you guys want. But yeah, this has been going strong. It is now my favorite thing to play with, is this. So out of all the modifications, I guess the Honey Badger is the most expensive because you need to buy the $1,600 upper that comes with the bolt carrier group and all of that stuff. The Sig is probably the easiest to remove this, obviously, but the ammo will be more expensive. And honestly, that's basically the same mod for a Rattler. I have an old Rattler. You don't need to do that for the LTs. It's just my old Rattler and the Virtus that you kind of have to mess with this. And then this guy I don't want to do an overview of this gun again, but the biggest thing other than this to do is change this. Don't use this charging handle. This is a stainless, chewing up aluminum. I put radiant on here, aluminum on aluminum, it is what it is. It'll be a lot easier. It'll last longer, I think, but these stainless hooks were chewing up my upper. I don't like that. So this I don't recommend. I know we like to keep as many HK parts as possible on this, but this was one of those things where it's like, no, I don't want to do that. Go away. But yep, that's it. I didn't disassemble anything on the camera. And thank you for watching. Bye.